Hi everyone, I miss you all as you're home. I hope you're doing well with your mom and dad and aunties and grandpa and grandma. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Number one, everything before you go out to play, after playing, after touching anybody, after touching any service, clean your hands as the teacher is doing with either soap or sanitizer. Clean your hands well. Make sure you clean it nicely in the middle of the fingers, then good to go. And now today I want to take you through rounding of numbers to the nearest tens. Rounding off the numbers to the nearest tens. Number one thing I want you to understand that we've been doing it in grade 3 and 4 as we're doing it here, and even in grade 2 and 1, is you have to understand place values. As I said, place value is the position of a digit in a number. I'll take you through an example. Have a number like 246, 2462. Place value is just position of a digit in a number. A digit, like any number from any digits from 1, 2 until 9, we call that digit. But when we have more than 2, we call them a number. So a number like this one, if you want to know the digit of every number, that's what we call a place value, like ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Number one. And after that, we have to go to something called total value. Total value is the product, what you get after multiplying the digit and its place value. For example, the place value of digit 6 is tens. What do I get after taking tens? I multiply by the digit. So this is the digit and its place value. What I get is what you call total value. So the total value is the product of the digit and its place value. But now, when we come to the point of rounding off numbers to the nearest tens, this is what you're supposed to do. I have an example of 18. Example 18. I want to round off 18 to the nearest tens. First of all, there's something I want you to always remember. That we have to work under our number line that moves from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and lastly 10. That means if any number that goes beyond 5, any number that is 5 and above until 9, it must have an effect, and you'll see the effect. Any number that is below 5, that means any number that is 1 to 4, it has also a certain effect. I'll just show you. Let's work on this one, 18. I want to round off 18 to the nearest tens. I'll use my number line example. Like now, my number line, I have to think of two tens. There are two tens here in between 18. We have 10 and 20. So I have to start from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we are. The first step I'll do is to stand at 18 and count the next 10 after 18. I count the steps 1, 2. I'll find I have 2 steps. That one put it aside. Before you go anywhere, stand at the same position and then count backwards the next 10. The steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You realize that from 18 moving forward to the next 10, you have to move 2 steps. And from 18 moving backward to the next 10, you have also to move 8 steps. So imagine your mom tells you, I want to send you to the supermarket to do shopping. And the next supermarket, you have to also, just a walking distance. Take your car or just you can walk a walking distance, you go and buy. Another one needs you to prepare for, you have to drive for more than 3 hours to reach there. I'm very sure most of you will prefer the next one that has a walking distance. You just walk and just buy your things and go back to your house, to your home. So the nearest 10 from 18 is 20. Instead of wasting this energy of going backward until 10, you can just walk to distance, just a small distance to 18. So If I round off 18, the nearest 10 will come as 20. Let me do another example that is having 100 number. If I have a number like 236, what will I do? I have to to count the tens here. So we have 230, and the next one is 240. And then count the number of steps there and say, if I move from 236, the next, if I just count, for example, 236, 37, 38, 39, and 40. 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. And I'm moving from 236 backward again, like now, 236, 37, 38, 39, so this is 31, 2, 3, 4, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 240. You understand? These are 2 here, over here. I know most of you can become lazy to think teacher anaandika nini. So this one. So I have to come and stand at 236. Count the number of steps forward to the next 10. Let me go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps. Backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps. Even as a teacher, I will prefer moving the less number of steps, that is 4, than moving 6 steps backward. So if I round off 236 to the nearest tens, I'll find is 240. That is when the question requires you to use a number line. But now I can imagine if you have a number like 2436, what will you do? Let me help you. Something very small. Let me help you. If we have a number like 4269, I want to round off this number to the nearest tens. Be very careful on this. This one, I can draw a number line, of course, but it will become very tiresome to me. I want to give a very simple method of rounding off numbers to the nearest tens without even drawing a number line and get your answer. 4249. Number one thing in rounding off to the nearest tens, remember, is to the nearest tens. I have to consider to count the place value and consider the number that is in ones. What do I mean? Look, in rounding off to the nearest, we look at the number that is in ones. Look at that number in ones, place value. If that number in our number line, so that's when you go back to our number line. If that number in one's place value is either 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means if the number is more than 5, it has to change to 0 and adds 1 backward in the tens place value. But if the number is less than 5, if the number is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it changes to a 0, but there's no effect. It adds nothing on the number that is in tens place value. For example, this one. I have to consider the number in ones. So, ones. Is this number more than 5? Of course, yes. It changes to a 0 and adds 1. Remember to add that one in tens place value. So you add 5, it becomes 1 plus 5, 4, 5, 2, 4. So your answer becomes 4,250. Last example. If I now have a number like 230, 2,344. I want to round off this number. I said consider the number that is in ones. Look at this number. Is this number more than 5? No, less than 5. It changes to a 0, but remember, if it's less than 5, adds nothing in the tens place value. So the rest of the numbers remain the way they are. So the answer becomes 2,340. Always remember that every number should be written in its own box. Number 2, arrange your work properly. Be good boys and girls to our parents. I love you all. Thank you. Bye.